Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Ben.
Yo, this definitely isn't take two.
This is definitely not
This is
take
definitely
two
not take two
of this episode. We recorded maybe 20 minutes.
15.
And 15 minutes.
We recorded 15 minutes of the
and
episode.
decided to give it a second run. And we might explain why a little bit later on.
We will.
This is Lights Christmas Action.
Lights Christmas Action.
Day 10.
A wonderful Saturday.
I'm Matt.
I'm Ben.
That's Ben.
Yep, I said that.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Ben.
And that's Ben.
Perfect.
And we just watched Jones Family Christmas. For a long time, I was calling it Joneses.
Oh,
I thought it was apostrophe.
So was I.
It's
No,
just
it's just
Jones
Jones.
Family Christmas. Brand new to Stan. It's a Stan original. Came out about 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago after the second recording of this episode. So it's brand new. It's just out
2023.
on Stan. It's M-rated, hour 37 comedy.
I wouldn't call it a comedy.
Comedy drama.
I would call it a drama comedy.
Light drama. No,
Oh,
it's a drama.
It's a drama.
It's a drama with comedic elements.
Yeah, it's
But
drama
laugh out loud
with,
comedic elements.
Yeah, with like some moments that are funny.
Not like yesterday's one, which was not
No.
laugh out loud. This is
No.
laugh out loud. Quite honestly and truly, I burst out laughing.
I think we
at
both
points.
laughed at this point.
It's fun. I'll read the synopsis. Grandmother Heather Jones has finally managed to get her family home for Christmas. But before the festivities begin, they receive a fire evacuation order. Now the family must band together as they rediscover what matters most, each other. This starts off real homely, real Australian Christmas.
Real sweet. The dynamics that are present in that shot is basically the exact copy of my family Christmas.
I was gonna ask this question a bit later. Let me set it up a bit, we'll come to that. So yeah, Heather Jones, she's on like a outback farmstead. She's the grandmother. She's so excited because everyone's coming back home for Christmas. So she's got her youngest, Alex, played by Max McKenna, who maybe is home from uni, has just been dumped by their partner.
Has like 8 months.
Yeah,
8 months
they're
is the
pretty
time
distraught.
They're like
Their entry
they're
is
very
them
distraught. They're very
their
distraught.
entry is them running to the bathroom,
Yeah.
crying. Who hasn't been there coming home for Christmas?
Fuck, I've done that so many times, Matthew.
And then there is the eldest daughter. Can't remember her name.
Christina?
Probably.
Christina? I'll find out.
Probably.
Hang on a minute.
Hold on. I'll get the IMDb up. Felicity. No.
Nope, that's the other one.
Christina. It is
Yeah,
Christina.
thank you.
It is Christina.
Thank you very much. I remember.
Christina is from London with her...
Born in Australia?
Born in Australia, moved to London with her husband and has a son. And she comes back, they're all posh with an accent.
But it's like a strong, like...
Strong
It's
put
like
on
a
accent.
super strong, like a Mayfair, West London accent.
She's had some injections in her forehead, or her forehead, as she would say. And her son, like 10 or so
Yeah,
years old.
10 probably.
William? Bit temperamental, bit, not the most, what do they call? Well-adjusted
Well-adjusted.
child. And the husband, he's from London, from England. So he's panicking that everything's going to kill him. Snakes, spiders, everything. Going to kill him in Australia. And then you've got the middle child, Danny. He is bringing his girlfriend home for Christmas.
New girlfriend.
Only been together a couple weeks.
New
Very excited. His mum thinks that she's the one. And so she's been introduced to the family.
Yep. Felicity.
Flick. And so that's where we are. Very quickly, we discover awkward, chaotic dynamics.
Awkward dynamic.
Including the fact that Alex, the youngest child, their partner that dumped them is Felicity.
Is Felicity. And
Danny
Alex
doesn't know this.
Very clearly, like head over heels.
Head over heels. Like, so heartbroken.
Head over heels.
They're so heartbroken because they were so deeply in love with them.
Distraughtly heartbroken.
And so Danny doesn't know, so they have to pretend
Yeah.
that they don't know each other.
Yeah.
And then we see that Christina and her husband aren't really...
The dynamic just kind of isn't there.
It's not there. The spark's not there.
No.
They're fighting a lot. They're arguing. And their son's not really getting the attention that he desires.
Or needs as a child.
The dad of the whole family,
a little aloof.
He's a bit aloof. He's out in the shed a lot. He's
there are things happening there, processing that we don't really get privy to.
So he's not really in the family entirely. And so they have Christmas dinner, and then they get the fire evacuation order that they need to move on. So they will hurriedly pack up, hit the road, drive up north to an evacuation shelter, and the story unfolds from there until the final climactic end. Danny, the son, he is a volunteer firefighter, so he goes off.
He gets called away.
To work on the trucks, but the rest of the family goes, including Felicity, is dragged along with this family. It's heavy.
This is probably the heaviest film we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And I think we were saying in take one that it's not so much a Christmas film, it's a film that occurs on Christmas.
Yes.
And all the things around it are Christmas.
Yes.
But it's not like a traditional Christmas film.
No. It has... Most obviously, it has the bushfire story.
Yeah.
Which is very...
kind of permeates a lot.
Yes.
Of everything. It's a really nice undercurrent to all the stories.
Yeah, I mean it. All right, let's work through each trigger in this film.
Okay.
And discuss their role in the narrative.
Okay.
So the bushfires is the most obvious.
Yep.
And yeah, as you were saying, it really sets up. It's a scene setter.
And it's a tonal drive.
It sets the tone, and it really is that marker of the story beats. In that first it's distant, it's far away, it's something that you just hear on the radio, not really conscious of. Then you get the order to move, so you start acting on it. And then it gets closer, and then the smoke starts to feed in through the evacuation center. Then the embers and the ashes land. Then the fires start around them. And so it's a visual building of the tension.
Like a tonal...
And it's reminding you of that the story's moving forward every time the fire advances. So it's its own scene setting. It's its own story that operates. I was just reading an interview actually with the cast and crew, and the writer Tegan Higginbotham, who's done a lot of comedy stuff in Australia. So this is a bit more serious.
This is
from her.
Very serious.
She was talking about how the fire is its own character. Is how she explained it. The fire is a character in the film, just like the family, as well as being a story itself. So I think that's a really interesting
way to view it as well.
So you've got fire. Then you've got What do you want to move on to next?
Suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So there is a story that unfolds regarding that, and that's not. It's not in the movie.
No.
It's people in the aftermath of the event, sort of grieving, processing, and particularly with rural Australia, sort of that notion of keeping it to yourself, and then even after that, people still processing alone.
Yeah.
And not really supporting each other or reaching out.
Or not wanting to reach out.
And everyone's just kind of accepting that they're just going to do it alone. And so there's that story that unfolds in the background as well, between some of the characters. Then you have... What would you like to move on to next?
I'm trying to think. What are the triggers, Matthew? We got to make a list. So then there's queer.
So there's the queer story.
Yeah.
Then between
Alex and
Felicity. And so
that's a really...
Without going too heavily into like details, because it is nice to watch.
That's one
unfold.
That's one that's really nice to unfold. I think it's I think something that in that's really nice is seeing the family move from a space of kind of like a kind of begrudging acceptance of that stuff and kind of particularly of Alex and how Alex shows that to her mum, through to like something that is like genuinely supportive. I think that was a really powerful way to show that, because it wasn't particularly obvious or overt. Often it's said by the changing of a word here, or like the way that she would really like refer to things, like changes in and out depending on the situation, was really powerful. And then there's like the more obvious and kind of the more kind of told through more of a kind of exposition, which is the sort of Felicity story, which is more about her experience with her family and understanding kind of the kind of line between I'm trying to think like how to explain this without like spoiling the film, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about acceptance. It's about varying levels of acceptance.
And also about who is accepting. It's about sort of whether an individual accepts themselves, or about whether the people around them accept them for who
internal and external validation and acceptance. And the film deals with both of those things really nicely. And then the final trigger is Jimmy Reese.
That's a real harsh trigger.
Jimmy Reese is in this movie.
Jimmy Reese is
quite early on,
and then again later on.
Which I saw that his name come up in the open credits, and so I could kind of mentally prepare myself for that.
Like I knew he was going to be there.
And I saw bushfire, the fire evacuation order in the synopsis, so I could prepare for that. I saw the thumbnail for the image, which looked a bit queer. And I was like, okay, I think I know something's going to be going on.
Yeah.
But and then I saw Jimmy Reese, and the name came up, and I was like, okay, there's a lot going on in this movie. But then he was there straight away.
It's like first scene. It's like
first scene. One of the first characters.
It's like first or second scene, and he's like introduced and he has like speaking lines,
everything. He hovers around for a bit.
He still kind of hangs around,
and then he's back later. What the hell? Oh my god! No wonder why it got 2 stars from The Guardian.
Jesus. Really? 2?
Yeah, this film got 2 stars from The Guardian. And I think both stars are for... I don't know. Jimmy Reese.
They should have got someone with untreated queer trauma to review it.
Yeah, no, they got Luke Buckmaster to do it.
Perfect. So, not gonna...
You know, he's just a normal, well-adjusted man.
Cringe. cringe.
This is what he looks like.
Oh my god, that's.
Anyways, Luke, grow up. Get some heart. Get some heart.
He is not the target audience for a film like this. I cried a lot in this film. I cried a lot. This is a really heavy film. Matthew's
I'm just trying to do a quick scan of this review, just to see.
What are the points? What are they? I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like so. All right, I am not a massive fan of the way they resolved Danny's storyline. I feel like that was a little much.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been maybe a bit subtler. I felt like we had built up all these tensions and all these relationship tensions and interpersonal connections that I feel like they got resolved all in this one moment, all really, really quickly, but I don't feel like the climax was particularly fitting of the amount of tension that they'd built up. That being said, I did still cry during the ending, but that was more just because of other things that were going on in the ending. Yeah. Matthew?
Yeah, this man's boring.
Oh no, what's he
he's just boring. He's just boring and he's no heart.
Okay, what are his critiques?
I don't want to give this man any airtime.
Actually, fair enough.
By
scrub out his name in the
by spitting. Yeah, I'm gonna censor his name. I'm gonna replace it with Fluke Fuckmaster.
Oh, so true.
See if you can figure out who I'm talking about.
See if we can figure this one out. Yeah, no,
I'm not going to do that. That's so much effort.
So much effort.
That's going to be so much effort for me to do.
No, that's so much effort, Matthew.
I will do it. That's funny. I've got a couple of days to edit this. I'll do it.
Actually, true. Yeah, you do oh no, yeah, we're definitely watching one tomorrow, aren't we? Aren't we, audience?
I'll do it.
We're definitely going to watch one tomorrow.
I'll do that. That's funny. Anyways, he's boring. He's boring. He's boring and lifeless. Don't invite Fluke Fuckmaster to your Christmas party from The Guardian. No, I'm not going to replace that either.
You're not going to replace The Guardian. The Guardian's
You can figure it out. Just go on The Guardian, search up this movie. You'll find out who I'm talking about. I'm not going to give him airtime.
And then you'll understand.
I'm still talking about him, but he's boring as hell. Move on, mate.
Yeah, please.
He says, look, basically, he's like, if you want a festive comedy, Australian comedy, watch A Sunburnt Christmas, which we did. And I think I agree if you were like a comedy. Yeah.
If you want to watch a comedy and be like funny.
But then he says, if you want a good bushfire themed drama, watch Fires, which was on ABC. I was like, mate, I want both. Maybe I want a bushfire drama and a festive comedy.
Genuinely.
I can't get that from either one. I'm going to get it from Jones Family Christmas. God. I don't know who you are if you're asking for that. Like, just...
Like you and us and me.
Well, no, I didn't really... I didn't actually ask for this movie.
No.
And I can understand... I don't think really a lot of people want this movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
I want this film.
No, like, do you...
I want this film.
This is not... Okay, this is where the two stars are coming from. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Maybe I won't censor him. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to be triggered about...
I want this film.
No, Ben, you're not well adjusted. Just like the little boy.
I loved this film.
You're not well adjusted.
This is the perfect...
Ben, you are...
This is the perfect Christmas film.
You are the significant minority.
This is a great Christmas film.
No, it's not. Let me articulate.
Oh my God.
It is Christmas. People don't want to be triggered by bushfires, suicide, and queer struggles 2 weeks before Christmas.
All right then. My Letterboxd diary.
And so this is tough. This is like movie is not a crowd pleaser movie. And so soon after a lot of these issues.
Yeah, I think
it's tough. It's tough, and this will put people off. I don't think people at Christmas will want to watch a movie about bushfires when it's only been 4 years since the Christmas bushfires swept through so much of Eastern Australia, and so many people actually struggled with it and still are living with the consequences. And then everything else that comes after that with rebuilding and with family dynamics and with community, to then have this dramatized but kind of glossed over in a Christmas movie. And so I feel like it doesn't give the weight. I feel like the weight of it is undermined at times by it trying to be lighthearted and comedic. And there are a couple of times where it tonally whips.
It does tonally whip
from a joke, which is a funny joke, but then into a very heavy moment soon after. And so it asks quite a bit from the audience to walk both of those lines. And I don't think it always does that perfectly. I don't think it's 2 stars, but it's also not great at walking that line.
I don't think a film like this really can walk the line. It's really hard.
I think it is possible. I think it's possible for almost any subject to walk a line.
But I think that if you give, okay, my desire in this film is that I wish it was heavier.
Yeah.
I wish that this film was just generally, I wish the ending was heavier specifically. I think there are parts of this film that could have done with like just like not holding back and like really hitting you really hard.
Well, in that case, I think you should watch Fires on ABC, the anthology series.
I'll only watch Fires on the ABC if it's got a clear storyline.
And I do, I haven't seen it.
I know.
But what I do know is that it's, one, very good. It's a very good production.
I have heard things about it.
2, it's an anthology, so it shares different people's stories. And it's true stories about different people through the 2019-2020 bushfires. So it is a drama, but it leans into the truth of the situation for these people. So I think maybe you should watch that if that's what you're wanting from this movie. Because it also happens at Christmas. Because it's real life. It's about the real people. Yeah.
I think there's something that this film does that I think is well done, is that the way that it melds its tonal setting and the relationships well. And I think I found that very right. I think I enjoyed that in the film. I enjoyed that a lot.
I mean, I should add just as a caveat that Tegan Higginbotham did write this after her 2019 Christmas in Gippsland. So she was, I don't know the full story, but she was caught up in the whole experience of bushfires threatening her area. I don't know to what extent. I haven't found that in an article yet. And it was originally an audio play that then became a film. But that's not to discount the authenticity of this film. I don't know how much of this film is drawn directly from her experience or how much of it is maybe just an inspiration. But I just don't think that this film tonally walks the line very well. But it's cool. It's interesting. It's different. It's heavy. It is heavy, but yeah, maybe I do agree with Luke.
I don't think I do.
Or Fluke.
I don't think I agree with him, but that's fine.
Well, agree to disagree then. Agree. I guess we just agree to disagree, don't we?
All right. All right.
I guess.
I think that if you do want the story that is primarily heaviness in relation to bushfire activity, then yeah, go and watch fires. Australia's done a lot of really, really good bushfire centered, natural disaster centered media in that. I think if you want something comedic, then you can go and look for what Australia has also done. But I think that what this does is a good place for it to sit between exploring people's reactions to the event. It's not meant to be particularly real or like a true story, but I think it does it well. All right.
Just leaving all of that silence in.
Yeah.
That dead air.
I'm not the one who edits these. I'm the one who records it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should know. It's hard.
Oh,
it's hard editing these.
I can imagine. There's
it's
so
hard
much
editing these
put into
back.
Editing these.
It's a lot.
Yeah, the thumbnail. I can imagine.
Hey. All the minutes add up, and these are minutes I could be doing anything else with my life with. Just scrolling the IMDb just in case there's anything else of interest. Nothing.
It's all
cool.
It's all just the same vibe.
Well, thanks everyone,
team.
For getting through this one. Or maybe not. It's a lot.
Yeah. You should watch this film.
Tomorrow's going to be fun.
Polar Express?
Polar Express.
I haven't seen Polar Express.
We're doing Polar Express.
I'm actually quite excited for this one. Will I cry during it? Probably not, which is good. But
will I cry? Probably.
Oh, I haven't seen Polar Express. I don't know how heavy this is. I don't know how heavy this is.
I love it. It's divisive. It's divisive.
Divisive.
It's divisive.
Okay.
It's divisive. Okay. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.